Awesome. So welcome to Power Hour Ventures, where we breed billionaires. Today we got a special guest with us today. We got Shelby Harris. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm excited to come.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. I have a lot of great questions that I want to ask you today, and just go where the conversation goes. Also, we want to talk a little bit about adversity and overcoming that kind of in today's show. But could you let the guests know a little bit of your background, where you're from, and just a little bit on your story and with sports and everything?
My name is Shelby Harris. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My mom was a single mother. There was three kids that I grew up with. I was a middle child, and then, as I got older, on my dad's side, I reconnected with a lot of my others. I got like 4 other siblings. I went to Wisconsin out of high school, and then I was there for a year, and then I transferred to Illinois State, and then I was drafted 7th round to Illinois State. Oakland, and then my first couple years in the NFL were, a little rocky. I would say my first 2 years, the total, I played a total of 7 games.
Okay.
Getting cut back and forth, going from practice squad to active. And then my 3rd year going into OTAs. So right before June, I remember I got cut and I was for good from the Raiders. And then I was a free agent for a week, and I signed with the Jets, and I was there for camp. And this is all my 3rd year.
Yeah.
Signed with the Jets for camp, and then I got cut after camp, and then I was a free agent for 16 weeks of the season. And then I signed, week 16 to the Dallas Cowboys, and I was there for like 3 weeks, and that was a year. Aaron Rodgers had that crazy throw against the Cowboys on the sideline, and then I got cut right before that game against Green Bay in the playoffs. And then I signed a futures deal going into my 4th year with Denver, and then it was kind of like the Cinderella story ever since. 5 good years in Denver, and then being involved in Russell Wilson trade, getting traded to Seattle, and then was in Seattle, and then now just pretty much going to sign in the next week or 2.
Yeah. No, that's exciting. You've had an amazing journey, and a lot of people think that, all they got to do is just make it and they're there, but you have faced a lot of adversity and stuff like that with being traded, cut, not there. What are some things that you've done that have helped you stay motivated to keep you grinding so that way you can make it through?
Well, just being an athlete my whole life, I feel like, being wired a certain type of way of never giving up.
Yeah.
Always wanting more, but then also there was a time where I almost did give up. I remember I had a workout against with the Chargers, and this is when they were in San Diego, go down to San Diego and get this workout, and it didn't work out. I didn't sign with them, and I'm just like, I remember I called my wife, I'm just like, I'm done. I quit. Like, I'm not doing this crap anymore, and so it's like, and it was a big thing, with adversity, and when you're going through tough times, are the people you have around you. And it's all about, your circle. Your inner circle, like the people who, would never give up on you, like, a single day. And, I'm lucky that I had my wife and just, someone who truly just was like, no, this is your dream. Don't give up on your dream.
Yep.
She's like, the money comes and goes, like my wife works too. So she's like, don't worry about the money. Like, we'll be fine with the money. Don't worry about that. Yeah. But she's like, you have an opportunity. And the biggest thing was, you don't want to be stuck saying what if.
Yeah.
And that's that's what drives me to like my core.
Yeah.
It's because you don't ever want to go into a situation saying and then you don't do it. Then 4 or 5 years later, you're just like, damn.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity there.
You did.
And, and I never tried to take it. And it's like, who cares? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing is like, it's funny because it's like, if I do get signed, great. You know what I mean? Like back then it was like, if I get signed, great. Like, but if I don't, I'm still in the same boat I was. So why not keep trying?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it was just, man, it was a tough time mentally. It was a tough time. It was just tough in general, like being in a relationship, like being married in a relationship, and you feel like you're not pulling your weight. You feel like, you know what I mean? Like you feel like you're not doing what it needs to be done, but your partner is there truly just like supporting you and trying to show you that, like, just follow your dreams. Yeah. It'll be all right. And so I got, not everybody has that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I feel like what people should like hope for, but like for me, it's what saved my career
Yeah.
and made it that I'm still going to be playing 10 years in the NFL.
Yeah. No, and I think you're lucky in that aspect, because finding that circle, and that's one of the things that has come up a lot with a lot of the very successful, especially athletes I talk to. It's all about who is in that close circle to you that can keep it real, that can have the real conversations with you, whether it's good or bad. And you need to be able to have the bad ones especially. But having those right people around you makes the biggest difference. And I know, especially once you've gotten to a certain point, there you get people that come out of the woodworks that are always trying to get after you and this and that, but you having that core person, it's really, really great, because those are the people that do get you through those hard times.
But then sometimes, though, you do have, your circle, but then when adversity comes, that's when you realize you don't have the right circle.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes you realize, not the whole circle,
Yep.
but some of the people in there, you got to replace them sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's nothing wrong. And I feel like, with how the world is today, everyone wants to hold on to something, like the people they know.
Yeah.
Like that they have known for so long.
Yep.
And sometimes those people aren't there for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And sometimes those people aren't as genuine, and you're blinded by the years of friendship.
Exactly.
And you know what I mean? Like, specifically for me, like my family, like we've like I've realized a lot of people in my family are not necessarily there for me like
Yeah.
I thought they were. Like the people I grew up with.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Mm-hmm. But it takes you to actually really be able to realize that you outgrow some people.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
And that's the biggest thing, is it's okay. Like, it doesn't mean, and especially some of them, like, you love them. I know my brother, I love him dearly, and he passed away, and he just was on a different path in life, and the stuff that he did, and it's like, I realized at a certain point, it's like, I had to slowly pull away from him. Didn't mean I didn't love him, didn't mean I wasn't still there for him, but I couldn't be around him all the time because he was going in a different direction than what I wanted to, and where I wanted to go. And sometimes it's hard, like, especially when it's your brother, it's blood, it's family, especially when it's those close friends, but you have to realize it's okay to be able to step away from those. And it's also okay to bring in new members into your group that's like, hey, these are the same people that have similar visions, similar missions. And that's one of my goals, is I want to surround myself where I'm the dumbest person in the room. I was like, if I know that I'm the dumbest person in the room, I know I'm surrounding myself with great people that are working hard, that are doing things. And not necessarily dumbest person in the room, but I want successful people around me. It's like they've succeeded in different areas, different facets. If I can surround myself with them, and then I can build and learn from them, and you can continue to keep growing. I think that's one message that I always try to relay to people. That's, I think, very, very important.
Well, you never want to be the smartest one in the room or the smartest one in your group, because that means that you've outpaced your group.
Yeah.
You've outpaced, your circle. And so, and that's, one of the biggest indicators are you the most successful one? Are you the smartest one in your circle?
Yeah.
And it's not saying leave people behind.
Yeah.
Because also in that same instance, it's like, okay, well, we all need to try to move forward. Mm-hmm. And then once the other people finally start catch up a little bit, then it's like, hey, come join us.
Yep.
So it's not leaving anyone behind.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, we're not on the same page right now, and I need to upgrade my thinking.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to go waste, $300,000 on a car, where I can put that into a business. I can put that into something that's going to make me my money and then some. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just like I said, it's all about the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah. And once you start investing in those kind of assets that earn you those passive incomes, it's like, okay, now I have these assets that can buy me that $300,000 car. But a lot of people, especially, I know a lot of athletes that come into money early, that's one of the big mistakes they do, is they jump into these assets that are not making them money, it's just an expense. And they think they're assets, but they're actually expenses. So that's one of the things I try to relay to young athletes as well, is, hey, you have a limited time frame. You never know when your last game's gonna be. It could be over like that. So make sure you're networking with the people, because when you're in it, you have access to everything. When you're out of it, that access is gone. So make sure you're developing that network, developing those communications, but also speaking to the right people. And sometimes you might think you're speaking with the right people, and really those people don't have the right intentions for you. So it really is analyzing your group. And I've had to do that before many times, and I've seen it happen to friends, and it's like you start to see this over and over. But there are a lot of great people out there, and it's just being able to sit down and talk with them and be like, hey, how have you gone through this? What are the battles, and what are your thoughts on this? So
well, everything sounds good. When you don't know, and someone's trying to kind of either play you a little bit or actually try to educate you, everything sounds great if you don't know about it. Right. The only time stuff doesn't sound good is when you actually know about it and you're listening, and it's like, that doesn't add up.
Yeah.
That's not, I know about this business, I know about this, line of work, and that's not how it is. It's just like if somebody tried to come up to me and start talking football and start talking about, oh, that's a three-pointer, I'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? But that's just how it is, though.
Yeah.
That's just how, building relationship is. You're gonna see the BS on one side. You got to be able to sift through it.
Yeah.
And then actually, that's why when you actually say surround yourself with right people, you got to be able to sift through the BS of the wrong people who are just trying to mooch and trying to, just enjoy your success.
Exactly. Going back to football a little bit, I know that you've traveled and played with all these different teams. Where is your favorite stadium that you've played in, the best environment that you've been in?
We're talking about in America? We're talking about
no, you've played anywhere. You played anywhere.
I know, because I would say life-changing was this last year we played in Munich.
Yeah.
And when I say life-changing, I mean like life-changing. The energy, these are people who have no skin in the game.
Yeah.
They obviously in Germany they're the Tom Brady fans.
Yeah.
The Tom Brady fans. So they wanted, obviously, wanted to see Tom Brady do this and that. I'll tell you, the worst field I've ever played on in my life.
Yeah.
Worst field. So it's not about the playing experience.
Yeah.
The absolute worst. It's the most. It's soccer field. So we played. So it was we played Allianz Arena. So it was like it's slippery. It's just as slick as possible.
Yeah.
You can't get any power through your legs or anything like that. But the reason this experience was so special was the fans.
Yeah.
I just remember, they started singing "Take Me Home, Country Road."
Yeah.
And no, but I'm talking about it was like right before it was the fourth quarter, and they ended up getting the play they needed to win the game. But it was like the last play, they needed to get a first down to win the game. It was the TV timeout.
Yeah.
And they broke out in song, and you could just when I say you could feel it in your bones, like radiating, and just like it was one of the most. And like my wife, and I got lucky. My wife and my kids were in the crowd.
That's awesome.
And it was just truly like one of the most special experiences I've ever had playing football. And that's the beauty of football. That's the beauty of sports. You get to go places I've never been to Germany before in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Never been to Germany before in my life. And to be able to go to Germany and have that experience and just for playing football, like, that's what I said, it's blessings. And it's just, man, it's crazy because whenever anyone asks me about Germany, it's just like I instantly get a smile because the food sucked. That's
what I was going to ask. I was going to say, what do you think of the food? I know you like food.
I was going to say the food sucked. Like the field was terrible. Like everything football-wise was awful about it.
Yeah.
But it was just the environment that we got to play in was amazing. Like I had so my rookie year we went to London, and so we played in London. But I was on practice squad then, so I didn't play.
Okay.
And so, but I was just there, and I'm just seeing, watching the game and stuff, and it kind of reminded me of that, but just, it was just different because Germany is just such a, Munich is München.
Yeah.
München is such a different place, and I just, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Also, my nephew was born there because my sister and my brother-in-law, they were both military, and so they were stationed in Germany, so he was born in Germany. So I think it was just really cool to just go out there and just experience that, to be the first NFL game in Germany.
That was cool.
Just to be a part of that, I couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah, no, that's an amazing experience. And I know in my athletic career, I think the coolest moments were the places that I got to travel and the people and the cultures you got to experience. And fortunately, I was able to play at a high level for a long time and go to all these different countries and experience that. And like you said, you get in those environments and it's just that energy, that feel that you just normally don't have, which is really, really cool. So I remember watching that game and that was really cool. And I remember them breaking out and singing, and I was just like, I was trying to put myself in like your position, being on the field there, and I'm like that feeling, that energy was probably just unreal. I don't know how you can match that.
Like I'm literally standing in the middle of the field, just looking at the crowd, like, wow, like this is just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like it's so hard to explain of just like that feeling that just when it goes through your bones, you feel like you feel the tingling in your bones, and just it's just like this is a once in a lifetime moment. You know what I mean? So it's just like you're just taking it all in, and everyone just singing in song and just like loving the fact that we're there playing this game. Yeah. For a game. You know what I mean? Like loving the fact that we're coming here playing this game. It's it's the most appreciative thing I've ever felt in my life. Where it's just like, dude, like this is This is
That's
what
awesome.
you do it for, to have moments like this. Like this, it was amazing.
That's unreal. And I know you said when you were a rookie you played in London. I think being able to go back and go to Germany as you were a veteran, you were able to soak in that feeling more. Because I know when I was younger in my career, I didn't really soak up some of the experiences as much. And that's one of the things I try to tell athletes. I was like, that journey along the way, those are the things you want to remember, and those are the things that you will look back and remember. But a lot of times we're so focused on our goal, on our task, and we're so competitive that you miss those kind of things. So I think you being able to be a little bit further along in your career, to be able to soak that in, I think it made it even more special, which is awesome.
And I think it was cool because I just remember my rookie year, we go to London, and I'm seeing all the vets, like they'd have their families, like some have their families with them, they're all going around doing all that stuff, and then that was me. When we went to Germany, being able to, like, going around with my family, walking around, going out to eat, just, Germany has good Italian food. I give them that. Actually, they have decent Italian food. And so we enjoyed the Italian food, but just to walk around, to be there with my family, to be able to have this experience, to be fortunate enough to be able to bring my kids, my family, like my wife over, all of them come and enjoy this moment with me. It's truly, like, it was a special moment.
That's awesome. Were you able to enjoy, did you get to go to the Hofbrauhaus and enjoy a true beer hall when you were there? I know you were competing, so it's hard to do that when you're in season, but were you able to get to a beer hall?
Yes. We got there a couple days early. So if you want to go do something, you got to do it like right away. I think we got there on a third. Like we left Wednesday night, so we got there like a third. We left Wednesday day and we got there Thursday. And so I think that first Thursday, that first night, everyone was just like, all right, might as well go try everything we wanted to do.
Yeah.
It was a good time. It was a really good time. Like their beer is definitely way better.
Oh, 100%. I know traveling over there, like I love beer over there. I'm not a huge fan of beer here in the U.S.
Really?
Like there's some that I like, but when you go over there, there's so many good ones that are smooth.
And that's why I don't drink I don't drink heavy beers like that. Like I'm not a big beer guy.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, just give me like your best light beer.
Yeah.
And I drank it. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
You're like, all right, and I like how they come in the liters too. So it's like
already
they're ready in the liter. You're like, all right, this is serious. We're good.
Oh yeah, it was a good time.
And the food over there, I agree. The Italian food, even in Germany, and then when you go into Austria, the Italian food, it's hard to beat that Italian food. Like especially as you get closer to the border, that was what I loved eating over there because the German food, like you said, is not the greatest.
So like I wouldn't say okay. So when we at the hotel we were staying at, obviously you have like the team caters, have chefs and everything to do all this stuff. And so, they told them we were going to do some type of steak, right? But, in Germany, they like to boil their meat. And so it was just like green, like grayish steak. It was just like, yeah, we're not eating it. So like literally, it was like a team average, like everyone also eats like 4 pounds.
Dang.
Like, because nobody was really eating.
Yeah.
And then like people were eating McDonald's. People found the McDonald's down the street. And they go to McDonald's, or someone found a Five Guys and stuff like that. But someone found the app of like the German DoorDash.
Yeah. Okay.
So then it made it a little bit better for everybody the last day.
Yeah. I know that's one of the problems that we had on tour when we're traveling is we lose so much weight through the season because, like you said, a lot of times it's these foreign foods. Some of them are great, some of them are disgusting. But it's like as an athlete, your nutrition is part of your job. What you fuel yourself with. It's just like a car. You're not going to be putting in regular unleaded in a Mercedes or a McLaren or anything like that. So you need to properly fuel it. And every season, I would lose about 5 to 8 pounds every season. And we had some of our bobsledders that they would lose 5 pounds in a week. Like you said, that first week, they're just like shredding weight. And that's one of the hard things. So we actually would travel with certain things, stuff like that, because we knew we always traveled over there. So it's like, but you guys just doing it for the first time, you're like, I don't know, like where we expect to go.
Well, in London, I didn't know what to expect because same thing kind of happened in London.
Yeah.
I just remember ordering like a room service burger, and it was a brick. Like you literally like hitting it, making noises. I'm like, all right. Like I guess we're not going to eat. But then when I went to this one place, it was phenomenal. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's but like you get that anywhere though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can't. I guess you can't classify, all German foods but it wasn't the greatest.
Yeah. No, there are some spots when you go back out there next. I'll make sure I'll tell you where some good spots are to go because there are a couple spots out there, especially in Munich. Munich's a cool city.
Munich is such everyone's from everywhere.
Yeah.
Like that's why I think it's so cool. Like you go out there, everyone's from everywhere, and like Europe and they have all these little countries, and it's a whole different cultures though.
It is.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the coolest part about it because you have some, some people from right next to each other, and they completely don't speak the same language. You know
No,
what I mean? Like,
not at all.
It's the wildest thing to me.
Yeah, it'd be like they're in Utah and like they're completely different. And actually closer on borders is
Yeah,
wild.
and that's what I'm saying. But also, I guess the big thing too is I just feel like, I always hate to say it, but I feel like we're so dumb here in America that we speak only one language.
Oh yeah.
Like everyone, like we go to other countries and we expect them to speak English too.
Yeah.
And I just think that, it's just so ignorant of us. Like I'm really big on trying to get my kids like be bilingual and be able to speak these multiple languages, and it's just like we go to like it's just like the German speaking spoke to me. I'm just like I have no clue what the hell you're saying. Like no clue what the hell you're saying. But
there's a joke that they say about Americans, and I've heard it many times when we're over there. They're like, there's bilingual, trilingual, and then there's American who only know one. Yeah, they're like, yeah, you only know one. It's like,
you only
that's
know
it.
one. That's it. It's crazy to think about, actually.
Yeah. It's awesome that you got to experience that, and I know my experiences from competing in Germany was so much fun, so I'm glad you got to experience that. What are you looking forward to in this upcoming season?
Honestly for me, I really feel like I just want to come in and play. So it's simple. I'm a very practical person, and I always say, and I feel like most athletes are.
Yeah.
I want to be able to play at the same level all year.
Yeah.
That's literally like, I don't want to have the first half of the year playing very good, 2 games you drop off, then you play very good the rest of the season. I want to be consistent all year. Yeah. And it has nothing to do with, stats or anything like that. I want to be the most consistent leader and player I can be all year. And then also goes into doing everything I need to do before game day.
Yeah.
Being consistent with that.
Yeah.
Not getting in, at the end of the day, I'm going to be in a new city next year. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna have to find new resources, and for me, like a new stretcher, a new chiropractor, a new MAT guy, and all those resources that you take for granted when you get comfortable. Like in Denver, I had that was I had a whole Monday, Tuesday was Joel, you know what I mean, like all the so it's just but now it's just being able to go out there and not waiting too long to get started with all that stuff. Getting involved in that stuff now.
Yeah.
Using during camp, taking care of my body.
Yeah.
Not destroying my body. Like my goal this next year is really not to drink during the season.
Yeah.
Like really actually, what would happen if I truly 100% commit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like truly just commit. Like and you don't know until you try. And I'm getting to the end of my career. Only got a couple years left, and so it's like, why not?
Yeah, and that's one of those things, like it goes back to earlier in our conversation, it's like those are those things that you look back and it's like, I wish I would have tried that. And so it's good that you're seeing that now. It's like, let's give it a go. Let's go full board and let's see what can happen. So that's really exciting. So I think with you committing like that, I think there's going to be a little bit more highlight reels with the best hands in the league over here.
Like you already know.
A little bit more highlight reels. I'm excited to see them. So.
But even committing that, but like with my diet, like I've hired a chef and I want to make sure that I'm eating healthy and it's trying to just do things I haven't done in the past to try to see if it actually does give an advantage. Yeah. And just trying to be the best, player I can, because I was talking to my oldest, she's a softball player. She's a sophomore, and I'm just like, what do you do this for? Like, why? Yeah. Like, do you want to be the best, or are you just doing this because we want you to do it? Because the question, or are you just doing it because you're good at it? You know what I mean? Like, that's a big thing too. People just do a lot of stuff because they're just good at it. Yeah. And, all right, so then, a lot of people at first, and that can honestly be true, like I just did football at first because I was good at it. Because I really, in high school, like growing up and stuff, I hated football. Yeah. Because it was something that stopped me from playing video games in the summer. To be completely honest. And so I'm just like, all right, I'm, playing it, and I'm good, and then I get offers in high school, and then I would say pretty much halfway through college, in the senior year, I was like, why am I doing this? Yeah. Why am I doing this? Like, I'm good at it, but why am I doing this? I was like, all right, well, let's actually take this serious. So I started actually lifting and trying to do the things that I needed to do to actually, but I was telling her today, I was telling her yesterday, like, I need you to be more intentional. Yeah. With your movement. Be more intentional. Yep. Because you can go out there and do the work, but are you actually really getting the most out of the work that you can? Right. Because there's a way of, we can go out there and go, we used to do those workouts in Landau's. You go work out, but are you actually getting, if you're not going to sprint at full speed,
Why
you're
are you
not
doing
going to get the full. Yeah, you just so you can go home and say you did it. I worked out. I did my thing. I did my thing for the day.
Yeah.
But are you actually going to be intentional about it?
Yeah.
Go out there and go full speed. You know, actually work on stuff while you're doing it, because then you're going to realize you're not even going to have to think about it during game day.
Yeah.
That's just going to be natural.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that turning up and going and doing it, and just doing it, and you don't think, oh, I need to turn it on.
Yeah.
No, it's not even going to be that. It's going to be.
It's there.
It's going to be there, and that's why I was just trying to tell her, like, be intentional.
Yeah.
You know, it's just You know, I feel like everybody just like with social media these days, it just makes it that everybody just wants to show you they're doing it.
Yeah.
Everybody has to show you they're doing something, but like, are you?
But
actually
are they doing it?
Yeah. And that's the thing. So it's just, you know, and that's always my biggest message to my kids is that be intentional with what you're doing.
Yeah. And I think that's what sets the athletes apart at the highest level is when they are practicing and they're training, every single rep, every single set has an intent. And it's like you have intentions for it. And the other thing that I noticed is brain training and how athletes at the highest level really focus on what's up here, because it's going to set you apart. There's going to be a lot of people who are physically able to do it, but up here they're not able to do it. Mm-hmm. With that being said, are there any modalities or mechanisms that you like to use for your brain training?
I've done the Brain Code Center before.
Okay.
In Denver, and the only reason I stopped lately is because we moved further away.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's really not. If it was closer, I would definitely like be 100% fit that into my schedule.
Yeah.
I think that was always a good one. And then honestly, just for me, I try to read.
Yeah.
And because I just feel like I used to be a huge reader.
Yeah.
You know, I used to read a lot. Like, I was a huge Harry Potter guy. Like, growing up, I was, you know, I loved.
What house are you in? I have to ask.
Gryffindor, baby.
Gryffindor.
I'm a good guy. I'm not one of those.
You're not a Slytherin?
No, I'm a good guy. So it's like, you know, I was just. I feel like when it comes to this, it's all about the way you react in the moment, and it's even just like in situations. Even with your spouse or anyone like that, it all ties together. Of don't react right away.
Yeah.
I don't like actually think about what you're about to say.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of it. Like I need to everyone needs to get better at it. You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, it's just more of like, hey, like I need to be able to control myself, because also, even on the field, because you got to think on the field, emotions are going to be running high.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you just can't sit there and just start snapping because one thing goes wrong.
Yep.
You know, it's just all about, you know, trying to just keep everyone together. And so my biggest thing is just trying to stay calm.
Yeah.
And just really just trying to even keep and I always say this too, is when we go play, I always say I'm the exact same off the field as I am on the field. Yeah. We do this. This is something we do. We've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if nothing here, this is not pressure.
Yeah. No, you've gone through it.
We get paid a boatload of money.
Yeah.
To play a game. There's people out there struggling.
Yeah.
Like, this is not
You want to see pressure, we can take you down the street.
This is not pressure. This is like, you know, this is your livelihoods, but at the end of the day, like, this is a blessing. Yeah. This is a blessing. This is like, we're blessed to do this. Yeah. Like, so it's like, that's where always my thinking is, have fun. Yeah. Like this, like, and that's the biggest thing. Have fun. Like, if you're not having fun, then what are we doing?
Why are you here? Why are you doing anything? If you're not having any fun in any of it, like, you need to make sure, you need to analyze, you need to step back and see, okay, what is wrong? What am I doing? What do I need to change to make sure that you're having fun in it? And I think that's some great messages, that, especially with what you're teaching your daughter and your kids, like, that's very, very valuable. And with competing at the level that you have with sports and athletics, you've gained so much knowledge to pass down. So I appreciate you coming on and kind of sending those messages out to others, because that's very, very valuable. A lot of people, it's normal for you and I to talk about this kind of stuff just because we train in those kind of atmospheres, we're used to it. But a lot of people haven't seen that kind of, what it takes and what you should do to get to those kind of levels. And it's that intent, that drive, that focus. Give it that 100%. Find those modalities, find the right things that are going to help with you. I know with mine, with focusing, with brain training, because we traveled at such high speeds, I had to be able to process really quick. And it helps with sports as well. But the best modality for me was a gyro stim. So it's actually a really cool machine. They hook you up, and it's a 7-point seat harness, and they flip you, twist you, turn you. There's dots all over, and you have to hit it with a laser pointer, and you have to read formulas on it. But what it does is it puts your brain in a state that you have to be able to focus and get back to center, so that way you're able to process. So, but there's different tools and different modalities for each person. So I like talking to athletes and seeing, what was it for you that helped you get to that modality? Or what is it that I should try to help me get to the next stage and where I can be better?
Well, I think it's honestly, I think a lot of it is really just being practical. Hey, what do you want? How are you going to achieve it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then I think with like the world today, like I say, is like, well, someone's not going to do one of the things it's going to take to achieve it, and they still expect the end goal.
Yeah.
You got, like, that's the thing. You lay out a plan, follow the plan, and then when you start straying off the plan and you don't actually get what you wanted, it's a reason for that.
Look at the plan.
And so you can't. It's also it's just about self accountability.
Yeah.
And that's that's one of the hardest things about anything.
It is the hardest thing because most people are afraid to say it was my fault. I made the mistake. I didn't do it. They want to place blame at other places. Oh, my coach did this. Oh, this did that. I injured it. They place blame elsewhere versus looking internally. It's like, well, what could I have done to prevent it? That's the hardest thing to do. Self-accountability is really, really hard. But once you learn to have that self-accountability, that's when you can start making those greater strides. You can make those big steps because you're like, hey, I'm holding myself accountable. I know I got it.
But how, like, think of it like, also, like, how crappy would you feel if, because you stopped paying attention one play, at the biggest moment of the game, you lost. And I'm not one to point fingers, but if it was me in that situation, I'm pointing the finger at myself.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've never, if it was someone else in that situation, something happened, there's never any one play that makes that play happen.
Exactly.
But if it's me in that situation, it's unacceptable. You know what I mean? And, like, it'll never be acceptable.
Yeah.
But like, that's just my standard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My standard. Like, if you go talk about me around the league, they're going to say he does not make mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's something I pride myself. I do not make mistakes. I'm going to know the plays. I'm going to know. I'm going to be where I need to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just, what do you pride yourself on?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Like, who are you? Like, if someone asks, like, who are you? I'll tell you. I can tell you what people will say about me as a player.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk trash. I'm gonna talk trash. We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
We're gonna work. You know what I mean?
But and they know that, and they know that's what they're getting out of you, and that's where it leads back to a little bit earlier of our conversation. What's your why? Why are you doing this? Like, you have that intent, you had that dedication, you know that path. So it's like, sit back, figure out what yours is. What is yours out there? Like, figure out what your path is, figure out what you want, and set that path going forward. We're running a little low on time here. I did have one last question for you. I know you're a car guy. So if you could drive any car with anyone in the world, dead or alive, and have a conversation with them, who would it be and what car would you drive?
Interesting. That's an interesting question. Yeah. Who?
Yep. Any time in history, so it doesn't, living or dead, you can drive with one person.
I'd have to choose, I think, Reggie White.
Reggie White, okay.
But if we're talking about, like, heroes, I'd say my grandma. But, like, you know what I mean? But if you're talking about, like, sports person, I'd say...
It doesn't even have to be sports person. It could be
I'll
business.
say my grandma then.
Your grandma?
Just, and then, honestly, just any car. Just
any
spend
car.
time with her.
Yeah. Just spend time with her.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Being able to get a little bit more time with her would be huge.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I know you're crazy busy getting ready for this upcoming season, so thanks for coming out to us and talking with us today.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me on.